Very good morning students. In today's class we are going to learn about design of FIR filters. So before going to the design of FIR filters, let us learn what is frequency sampling design of FIR filters. This is again continuation of drawing the structures for FIR filters. So what is frequency sampling? So once we draw the frequency response of the FIR filter, you need to sample it. Based on that we are going to draw the structure also. So for that let us take the frequency response of the FIR filter, which is written as HD of omega. Even the phase response also I have drawn. So this first graph represents the magnitude frequency response of the FIR filter, and the second one represents the phase response of the FIR filter. So in the frequency sampling design as shown above, we are going to divide this frequency response at n equally spaced points in the interval of 0 to 2 pi, and also we are going to replace this omega, the frequency by omega k as 2 pi k by n. So using this k is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1, I am going to sample the frequency response. So once if k is equal to 0, WO becomes 2 pi 0 by n. So it is 0. So this 0 I will be plotting it on the graph, that is there is a mark represented with cross mark on the 0 point on the frequency response that represent omega naught. And similarly if k is equal to 1, so wk becomes w1, which is equal to 2 pi into 1 by n, that is 2 pi by n. So which is again marked on the graph as second cross point. And then k is equal to 2 means you will be getting as 4 pi n. K is equal to 3, 6 pi by n. Then k is equal to 4, it is 8 pi by n. For k is equal to 6, it is k is equal to 5, it is 10 pi by n, and k is equal to 6, it is 12 pi by n, and it will go on till 2 pi. So like that I am going to sample it, and the sample points are marked as cross marks on the frequency response graph. The same points I am going to extend for the phase response also. Okay, again the same points with the same scale I have drawn the phase response, and we have represented the sample points on the phase response also. So this is how I am sampling the magnitude frequency response as well as the phase response of the FIR filter. So now it is very clear that the sampling of the discrete time sequence and discrete Fourier transform, which is actually the process of getting the discrete Fourier transform from DTFT. Hence I can write h of k will be equal to hd of omega. And whereas omega is taken as omega is equal to omega k, and k as we know it is from 0 to n minus 1. So in this let me substitute omega is equal to 2 pi k by n. So the above equation h of k, it does not have conjugate symmetry about the folding index n by 2. Hence the symmetry is compulsory for the inverse DFT in order to yield the filter having real coefficient for its impulse response h of n. Hence what we need to do is we need to force the conjugate symmetry as given below. So that is for n is equal to odd, h of 0 is real, h of n minus k is equal to h conjugate of k. What it is in order to force the conjugate symmetry, I am taking n as an odd number, and the center h of 0 it is taken as real, and the half of the values of h of k will be equal to h conjugate of n minus k. That is what the conjugate symmetry I am going to force it here. Hence I have written h of 0 is real and h of n minus k is equal to h conjugate of k, whereas k ranges from 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1 by 2. So even for the n even also we can force the conjugate symmetry as follows, that is take h of 0 as real and h of n minus k is equal to h conjugate of k, whereas k ranges from 1, 2, 3 up to n by 2 minus 1, and the center value h of n by 2 taken as 0 for n even value. So now let us find out what are the filter coefficients. So in order to find the filter coefficients h of n, we are going to take inverse DFT of h of k. So we know the formula for inverse DFT as h of n is equal to 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 h of k e power of j 2 pi k n by n, whereas small n ranges from 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1. So here I am going to impose the symmetry, conjugate symmetry property to have linear phase for the FAR filter. So let h of n minus k is equal to h conjugate of k. Let me substitute for n is equal to odd in the above equation 1. So if I am going to substitute, I can split the entire h of k as starting from h of 0, then the remaining values as 2 times of k is equal to 1 to h of n minus 1 by 2. So hence equation 1, it is written as h of n is equal to 1 by n, h of 0 separately, okay, plus the remaining of the values as 2 times of k ranges from 1 to n minus 1 by 2, real part of h of k e power of j 2 pi k by n. And similarly, we know h of n minus k is equal to h conjugate of k for n is equal to even. So again the same condition for n is even, I am going to impose on equation 1. And we can write h of n as h of n is equal to 1 by n, h of 0 plus 2 times of summation k is equal to 1 to n by 2 minus 1, real part of h of k e power of j 2 pi k n by n. So this is about equation 3 for n even and equation 2 for n is equal to odd. So let us proceed this. So from equation 1, whatever you have, I am going to take z transform of this. So what is equation 1 is h of n is equal to 1 by n, summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1, h of k e power of j 2 pi k n by n. So this equation I am going to take z transform of that. So what is z transform of equation 1 is, z transform of h of n can be written as h of z is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1, h of n z power of minus n. So this is basically the z transform equation. See, for any sequence x of n, the z transform can be taken as x of z is equal to summation n is equal to minus infinity plus infinity x of n z power of minus n. So this is the formula to find the z transform. So using that concept, I have taken the z transform of h of n like this. Okay. And let us substitute what is h of n we have from equation 1. Instead of h of n, I am going to put equation 1 and this is written within square bracket. So in the next step, I am going to interchange the order of summations. So while interchanging the order of summation, 1 by capital N is a constant, so I can keep it outside. So it is 1 by n. So after interchanging the summations, the first summation is summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 along with h of k e power of summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 e power of minus j 2 pi k n by n into z power of minus n. So after interchanging the summations and for the second summation, what I can do is I can simplify it by substituting the formula for that. So second summation, if you observe, it is summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 e power of j 2 pi k n by n into z power of minus n. So this is of the form a power of n, that is summation 0 to n minus 1 a power of n form. So what is the formula for summation 0 to n minus 1 a power of n? It is 1 minus a power of capital N divided by 1 minus a. So using that infinite sum formula, I have substituted here for e power of j 2 pi k n by n into z inverse whole power of n as 1 minus a power of capital N divided by 1 minus a. So in the next step, what I am going to do is, I am just writing this after simplification of this. So e power of j 2 pi k n by n, it is value if you calculate, n will get cancelled and e power of j 2 pi value is always 1. So 1 power of k, whatever the value of k, whether it is 0, 1, 2, 3, it is going to be 1. So it is 1 minus 1 into z power of minus n divided by 1 minus j 2 pi k by n into z inverse. So this is what the next step I have written, which is written as equation 4. That is h of z is equal to 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 h of k into 1 minus z power of minus n divided by 1 minus e power of j 2 pi k by n into z power of minus 1. So this is about equation 4. So if you observe this equation 4, 1 minus z power of minus n, it is having a factor. That is, if I am going to factorize this, it will be having a factor which is equal to 1 minus e power of j 2 pi k by n into z inverse. Hence we can cancel the above 0 and the pole, and 0 pole cancellation will take place, and the remaining h of k contains only the zeros, that is it will have only the numerator part, and which is nothing but the necessary and the sufficient condition for an FIR filter to have linear phase. Okay, from this I can draw the linear frequency sampling structure for the FIR filter. So how to draw the structure is, always you know, you'll be starting with the input as x of n and output as y of n. Okay, and the input x of n will start with, where if you observe the equation 4, you have the constant as 1 minus z power of minus n, that is taken as the first term that I am going to multiply, and remaining I am going to generate it by substituting different values of k. So if I am going to put k is equal to 0, the complete term becomes 1 divided by 1 minus e power of 0 into z inverse. So it is 1 by 1 minus z inverse for k is equal to 0. Then I have to multiply with 1 by n along with h of 0, whereas k is equal to 0. So above term will be 1 by 1 minus z inverse into h of 0 divided by n. And if you put k is equal to 1, it becomes 1 divided by 1 minus e power of j 2 pi by n into z inverse whole multiplied with h of 1 divided by n. Similarly for n is equal to 2, again we can put it as a block and you can extend up to n minus 1, because the k value is maximum of n minus 1. And later you need to add all these terms. Since in the equation 4 it is given summation, we are adding all the outputs, then it is given as an output here. So this complete structure represents the frequency sampling structure of an FIR filter. Okay, even basis also will be solving the problems in the next class. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Let us continue in the next class.